guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's Explains episode, we're going to learn all you need to know about shrimp. From the nutrition fact and the common concern about eating shrimp, how to pick your own shrimp at your local supermarket, is frozen shrimp really better? And you're also going to learn how to prep a head-on whole shrimp at home, as well as a traditional Chinese boiled shrimp recipe at the end. There's a lot to cover on today's episode, so let's get straight into it, shall we? Hi new friends, this is Erica right here. I'm a Taiwanese citizen currently living in America. Cooking and traveling is my passion, so I'm here to share with you my favorite Asian recipes. On top of that, I also make videos talking about food knowledge and the nutrition benefit of the dish on this channel. So if that interests you, please subscribe and keep watching. Shrimp is one of the most commonly consumed shellfish here in the US. It is quite nutritious and provides a high amount of certain nutrients such as iodines that is not commonly seen in other foods. It is low in calorie yet rich in nutrients and high in protein. Approximately 90% of calorie in shrimp came from protein, and the rest come from healthy fats such as omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acid. Shrimp also contain an antioxidant called astaxanthin, which has been studied for its role of promoting brain and heart health. Although shrimp is a great source of nutrients and protein, there's still a few things that you should know about shrimp first. The first health concern people have with shrimp is the high cholesterol level. You might have heard of this before, that shrimp is high in cholesterol, which is not wrong, but it is also all relative. For example, 10 specific white shrimp contain the same amount of cholesterol as one egg. So as long as you have a healthy body and you don't eat too much shrimp all at once, the cholesterol level in shrimp is not really considered as a health risk. What people are most afraid of high cholesterol level in our body is most likely because they're afraid of getting blood clots that will cause stroke or heart attack. But what you probably don't know is that cholesterol have divided into the good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol as well. For example, the HDL cholesterol has been considered as a good cholesterol, and the LDL is, which we said, the bad cholesterol. One study found that adults who ate 300 grams of shrimp daily increased their good HDL cholesterol level by 12% and decreased their triglycerides by 13%. Both of these are important in reducing the risk of heart disease. Research also shows that only a quarter of the population is sensitive to dietary cholesterol. For the rest of us, dietary cholesterol may only have a small impact on our blood cholesterol level. Not to mention that there's only 20 to 30% of your body cholesterol level is affected by diet. So eating shrimp is not really as scary as you might think, as long as you already have a healthy body and a balanced diet. The other thing that we might be concerned about is the antibiotic use in shrimp farming. Due to the high demand, 80% of all shrimps that's consumed in the US comes from abroad, such as Thailand, India, and Indonesia. Although this does help increase the access to shrimp in the US, but most imported shrimp is farm-raised, which normally means it might be treated with antibiotics due to its high susceptibility to disease. Even though the US government already banned the antibiotic use in the shellfish raising, as well as selling any seafood product that has been treated with antibiotics in the US, however, due to the high volume of import shrimp, the FDA is unable to regulate all of them one by one. So to reduce the antibiotics exposure, it is best to purchase the shrimp that is raised in US or wild shrimp, as well as other countries that also banned antibiotic use in shrimp farming. And to ensure that you get the best quality of products, purchase your shrimp from a trustworthy supplier who can answer your questions about the shrimp's country of origin and the handling practices. How to choose high quality shrimp. Shrimp and prawn are normally sold frozen, frozen thawed, cooked, or alive. To choose a high quality shrimp, it is important to take its odor and color into consideration. Shrimp and prawn should have a mild and salty smell of the ocean, but any shrimp that have overwhelming fishy smells like ammonia is normally spoiled and not safe to consume. The texture of a raw shrimp should be firm but not soft or slimy. If you got to touch the shrimp in the supermarket, the fresh shrimp will have a bouncy texture, and the longer after its harvest, the softer it will be. The shell of a fresh shrimp should be translucent with a grayish color. If you see any black spot occurs, that is due to an enzyme process causing oxidation in the shrimp, just like cut apples. It is not necessarily harmful or indicative of spoilage, but it does mean that the shrimp is probably not the freshest option. Is frozen shrimp really better then? From where I grew up, it's very different than America. Taiwan is a small island that is surrounded by sea, so the seafood that we have in Taiwan are normally really fresh, like alive kind of fresh. It is very easy to find live shrimp back home in the traditional supermarket in Taiwan, so the recipe that we're making today are normally made by live shrimp. But after moving to America, I figured that the fresh shrimp here is very different than the live shrimp back home. In a big country like America, transferring live seafood into another state is not as easy as it is in Taiwan. So when the fishermen caught some shrimp on their boat, they normally throw them straight into an ice tank and freeze them right after they leave the water. This preserves the fresh shrimpy flavor of the shrimp so that they are the same day fresh until they got thawed out again. So where does the fresh shrimp that we see in the fish counter really came from? Surprisingly, the fresh shrimp we see in the fish counter has most likely undergone this instant freezing process as well. We call this type of shrimp the frozen thawed shrimp, which means it came in frozen and had been thawed by the worker in the supermarket, especially the one you saw that is stuck on ice. So unless you're absolutely sure that the fresh shrimp you get in the market is fresh off the boat, frozen shrimp is probably your better option here in the US. Now, since the frozen shrimp is your best option here in the US, we have to learn how to defrost our shrimp properly. Because cooking a frozen shrimp leads to them being overcooked with the chewy and dry texture. A lot of people like to thaw their shrimp like how they thawed their meat. Put it into the fridge overnight. Now you might think that since the temperature is dropping slowly, it is less likely to breed bacteria, which is true. But it can also destroy the structure of the shrimp, result in the water loss and loose meat. After cooking, the shrimp shell will easily be stick onto the meat and is really hard to remove, and the taste of the shrimp meat will be tough and dry. So today I'm going to show you 2 ways of properly defrost your shrimp that will have a result of a great taste meat. The first one is the most commonly used method, the running water thawing. The way to do this is as simple as its name. Just put your shrimp in a container in the sink and let the running cold water defrost your shrimp for you. This is the fastest way to defrost your shrimp at home. It only takes around 5 to 10 minutes, depends on the size of your shrimp. The reason why this is the fastest method is because the running water will change up the temperature in the water tank, because the temperature of the water will go down with the frozen shrimp. But if you keep the water running, it will change the temperature in the water and defrost it faster. The second way is my personal favorite, as well as a lot of restaurants using this method to defrost their shrimp, the cold water brine thawing. Use a ratio of 3 to 100 of salt and cold water to soak your shrimp in it for around 15 to 20 minutes. This way the water will help defrost the shrimp and the salt in the water will maintain its juiciness and flavor of the shrimps. The reason why I like this method the most is not only because you can put your shrimp in the sink and let it defrost while you're preparing other ingredients for your meal, but also it doesn't waste as much water as the running water method. And due to the water pressure of salty water, it is less likely for it to lose its juiciness and water content in the shrimp. Although, like I mentioned earlier, the sitting water might take a little bit longer for you to defrost your shrimp, so if you're not in a rush, this might be your best choice, but if you are, maybe running water will help you save some time. To tell if the shrimp is completely thawed, use your finger to press into the shrimp, and if it's bouncy, that means it's ready. Now, after the do's, there are some don'ts that you should know about as well. Never thaw your shrimp in warm or hot water. Both methods that I share with you today are using cold tap water. Well, the reason why we don't use high temperature water to thaw your shrimp is because shrimp is highly perishable and also cooked really fast. The warm water might cook the outside of the shrimp without thawing them from the inside. So if you don't thaw your shrimp in cold water, you are most likely to end up with the rubbery, chewy, overcooked shrimp. And this also applies to microwaving your frozen shrimp. The temperature and the timing is too hard to control in a microwave. As a result, you might end up with the semi-cooked outer layer of the shrimp and the frozen center. The last one you need to know today is never refreeze thawed shrimp. Just like refreezing the leftover, you should never refreeze your thawed shrimp. Because refreezing thawed shrimp will not only break the cell and also take away the moisture of the shrimp, and also because the thawed shrimp might already develop bacteria in it, and if you freeze it back, it might be not safe to consume after. Now we have our properly thawed shrimp, let me teach you how to devine a whole shrimp at home. Even though the head-on shrimp spoil faster than the shrimp tail, but it is more flavorful if you leave it on. And back in Taiwan, we normally cook our shrimp with its heads on, because a truly fresh shrimp's head is also edible and, the matter of fact, very tasty. So today I'll be teaching you how to clean up a head-on whole shrimp. First, we'll cut off the shrimp's sharp rostrum so nobody gets hurt when we eat it. Then we'll cut off the tip of the head with ice, as well as the little legs of the shrimp because they're hard to clean. Next, find the spot that connects the second and the third part of its body and use your toothpick to poke into the surface and pull out the vein. Now you got your clean, deveined head-on shrimp. Let's do it again. Cut off the rostrum as well as the tip of the head with eyes and legs. Poke your toothpick into the connection of the second and the third part of the body and pull out the vein. Now we just need to finish the rest of the shrimp and we're ready to cook. Now we got our beautiful clean thawed shrimp, let me teach you how do we boil shrimp back home, as well as my favorite boiled shrimp dipping sauce. To cook a perfect Chinese boiled shrimp, there are a few tips that you need to know about. First, the water has to be piping hot. Use a pot that comes with a lid to heat up your water in medium-high heat. You don't want too much water, but just enough to cover up all the shrimp. Now while the water is boiling, we need to prepare 3 ingredients to get rid of the fishy smell of our shrimp, which is ginger, scallion, and rice wine. Use the side of your knife to smash the scallion and chop them into 4. Then slice our ginger and put them all into a mixing bowl with the rice wine. The reason why we didn't throw them straight into the pot because there's one more step that we need to do to make sure all the good flavor of the ingredients are released in our water. Use your hand to squeeze all the ingredients together in the bowl. I'll grab mix them for around 30 times until you can see that the rice wine become a little cloudy, and you're good. Give it a little smell that you can tell the difference about just dropping it straight into the water and after grab mixing. It smells really good. Now the water is boiling, we'll add in our bowl of ingredient and cover it up again. The key to a great boiled shrimp is you have to put your shrimp in the piping hot water for the shortest amount of time. So if you add in your shrimp right after you add in your other ingredients, it might take a little longer for the temperature to rise up again. And this little delay is easily to take out the juiciness of your shrimp and overcook your shrimp. Now the water is boiling again, we'll toss in our shrimp and cover it up. Count to 20. When the time is up, turn off the heat and let it soak for another 60 seconds. The heat of the water will slowly cook through the shrimp but not overdo it. If your shrimp is bigger, you can extend the soaking time up to 3 minutes but not more. Just keep your eyes on it, and when you see all your shrimp are rolled up like this and turn into red and white color, scoop it out right away. To add a little savory and spiciness to the shrimp, we'll use light soy sauce and wasabi as a dipping sauce. I know there are so many types of shrimp dipping sauce out there, like garlic sauce, ginger sauce, or fancy seafood dipping sauce. But my personal favorite has always been the most simple flavor, wasabi soy sauce. Just like eating sushi, you know? The sweet and bouncy texture shrimp add on with the savory light soy sauce and a touch of quickly fading heat, it gives the shrimp a balanced yet addicting layer of flavor. I love it. Give it a try. Wow, this is such a long video today. I'm so proud of you that you stick with me till the end. But before you go, as usual, we'll have to learn some Chinese. The word of the day today is 白灼虾. The last character 虾 means shrimp. You can either say 虾 or 虾子. It both mean the same thing. And when you combine the 白灼 with 虾, that means boiled shrimp. 白灼虾. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Let me know if this information is useful for you by giving this video a thumbs up. It's only gonna take you a second, but it means a lot to me. I make video on YouTube every Thursday, so remember to hit that bell and you'll never miss out. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye!